Hi friends, welcome to Joy Fido International. My name is Joy Fido and welcome on board. So today we've got something really exciting for you, something I really want to chat with you about. This will be really valuable to you if you're Nigerian or African, and it's just for the benefit of those of us who are typically from the black race. So today my topic is about what I would call my personal appeal to Nigerian politicians, or my personal appeal to African politicians. This is what today is about. And that's why I'm saying it's going to be of benefit to you if you're African or Nigerian in particular. So I'm chatting with you today from Lagos in Nigeria, Africa. And why has it become so important that I chat with you about what's going on? Now, for most of us Africans, especially those of us in diaspora, we never really have the opportunity of visiting our country of birth. And so we just hang out there in the Western world or wherever it is you find yourself in, and you don't really know what's going on the ground. But let me take you back slightly. What does Joy Fido International represent, or what is our slogan? What do we really want to share with our viewers? What we encourage everybody to do is, let's start thinking. Let's start thinking, because we've gotten to that stage, especially black people, Africans, we've gotten to that stage where we stopped thinking. We stopped using our brain, we stopped using our mind, and so we just go with the flow. But because we're going with the flow, we've allowed the world to go past us. And that's why I'm making this appeal to Nigerian politicians. And please, if you're watching, I really would like you to share this video with them. I've been in Nigeria now for nearly a week, and I'm telling you, the shock of the system has, you know when you get to a stage where you're not even able to talk anymore. That's where I am right now, and that's why this video became necessary. Where are we going as Africans? Where are we going? Because I like to say to everybody that cares to listen, Africa is so blessed. We are naturally blessed with everything that God could possibly give to a continent. I mean, we're so blessed that if you put a seed in any soil in Nigeria or most parts of Africa, it will just start germinating. You don't even need to plant it. When we're talking about a mango season, orange season, whatever this fruit is season, the fruits fall on the ground and they start growing. We don't have anything you call nurseries here and there, and where you go and take this in and you put it there, or plantation and whatever. Africa, we don't have that. Nature just takes care of us. So for such a continent that is so blessed, to lack so much that we do just hurts your skin. It hurts you. If you're an African and you lived in the West and you come back, you start wondering what is going on. And the reason I'm saying it's an appeal to these politicians is every problem, everything that Africans are dealing with is their fault. I mean, I was just listening to a radio program just now, and this guy was saying, call in and tell us what your problem is. And this guy just calls in and says, I don't know what is going on in this country. I don't know where we're going. Where are we going? What is going on? Why can't they do something to help us? And this man is saying, can you tell me if you've never, I can't even remember what he said, something about missing a sign or missing out on a road sign. Or what is that? Because all of us are complicit. We allow these politicians to carry on as if we're not humans. And so because all of us are just sitting there and not being upset about what is going on, They think it is okay to carry on the way they carry on. I'm telling you, this is a country where there is no electricity. Nigeria has all the natural resources you can think about. Oil, petroleum oil, it's in abundance in Nigeria. You have a country like Qatar or Dubai or places where they don't even have anything as close as Nigeria has, and they live in such luxury. Nigeria has, I don't even want to start picking and naming what Nigeria has, because I've done videos and videos on that. One of the videos I explained, over 10 companies in the UK are on the London Stock Exchange extracting natural resources from Africa, and they are taking away trillions of dollars of natural resources from Africa. But what do we Africans do? We're in poverty. How do you explain that? I cannot explain it, because the problem comes from the politicians. They are encouraging this exploitation. And the reason they can do that is because these people work with these enemies of our progress and allow these things to carry on. So they give each other kickbacks and kick forward and kick whatever, and they just amass this wealth onto their own personal pockets, and they go sending these monies to either Swiss banks or American banks or UK banks or wherever, and then they allow Nigerians to continue to wallow in poverty. I have children, and I would love to come back to my country and live with what nature gave me. But how do you do that with a situation that we have right now? How do you do that? I'll give you a scenario. We came in and we wanted to go to a market. This market in Nigeria, in Lagos, is called Alaba Market. If you're used to Lagos, Alaba Market. Or think of another market called Trade Fair Market. And these are so-called international markets. International markets. And you know, what used to get to me is when people sit out there and say Africans are lazy. You hear that all the time. You hear people like Trump going on about how black people are so lazy. But see, this is where the problem is. We live with these people who do not give you what I call enabling environment. Enabling environment. I live in the West and I will ask for my right. As a citizen, I will ask for my right. Why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? I have traveled the world, and each time I travel, I ask for my right. If I'm at an airport and something is going on, oh, it is my right as a tourist that blah, blah, blah should happen, and people listen. But when you come to Nigeria, no one allows you to ask for your right. What type of life is that? Nigerians can't ask for their right. They don't even have a right. Because politicians have all the rights. I mean, recently, my sister's telling me where I come from, these boys who have been exposed to these politicians, arming them with guns and machetes and you name it. Why? Because there is the highest rate of unemployment in Nigeria. The same thing we're talking about, and I know I'm just going all over the place. Let me take you back to the story of the market. We go to this market, Alaba Market, and there was no road. I'm telling you, there was no road connecting to this international market. No road. If you see this, it's like a river that we're swimming through to get to a market. And this is an international market. And I'm seeing these poor people pushing things in their wheelbarrow. You know, like when people come and shop and then they put things in the wheelbarrow so you move it to nearest to their car. They're pushing to go through this water. This stream, not just what, it's like an ocean. And this is supposed to be a road. Now, what got me, I'm telling you, I was so distraught, I couldn't even speak. You couldn't access a market, and you say to people to find a way of surviving. Because to me, it's like, what type of wickedness is this? You sit out there, and I'm telling you today, it's 27th, or is it 28th of May. Tomorrow they are inaugurating, getting into office again in Nigeria, new governors and president and you name it, senators and whatever they call themselves. They're all going there again. I'm just reading this paper, this newspaper, Newswatch now. Yes? And these people have just analyzed everything about how this election took place and all the nonsense that happened. Okay, I'm not interested in all of that. I'm not interested in all of that. Well, you know what? Because I don't care who wants to rule and who doesn't want to rule this country. All I'm interested in is make sure you take care of the people that you claim to be ruling. All these other parts of the world, people rule us. These various countries that I visit, human beings sit on in some office and claim to be a leader, and they make things work in that country that people can go and visit. When you come to Nigeria, I'm telling you, when you come to Nigeria, you will see the queue as you're getting through immigration, that everybody that's getting into Nigeria are Nigerians. You know how when you arrive in a country and you see, oh, this is for locals and this is for tourists or for visitors or foreigners. In the case of Nigeria, you will not see 10 people on the foreigners queue. And why is that? Because Nigeria does not entertain foreigners. It is not a tourist country. Why would anybody visit a place like this that I'm just trying to explain to you? Because right from the airport, it is an embarrassment to tell yourself you're a Nigerian. I mean, I love my country, and everybody that knows me know I love Africa and I love Nigeria. But you cannot keep pretending that everything that is happening in Nigeria is normal. It is not normal. The human beings who kill and maim and destroy in the name of politics and tell themselves they want to get into some office, and they get there, and all they do is create pain for the people they are supposed to be ruling. These are the people I'm interested in. These are the people I'm talking to. Because you do not do this. It is against humanity what you're doing. I mean, you sit there and you actually watch Africans struggle in the rest of the world and look so stupid. Why? Because when these people look at Africa and look at what is going on, why would they not treat us as if we're subhuman? Why? When you cannot think through your head. You have access to money for the country. You divert all that money into your personal account. And you tell yourself you're rich. You know, other parts of the world, when people say they're rich, they actually do business. I mean, they work, they earn the money. You see people like, Facebook Mark Zuckerberg. What does he do that he became so rich? He's offering a service. When the owner of Microsoft tells you he's rich, you could see the service he offers. When people go and tell themselves Fortune 100, Fortune 500, whatever this fortune is, and they tell you, I am rich because I did this and I did this and I did this. When Africans tell you they're rich, not because they did anything, they will go and amass on themselves oil blocks that belong to a country. You will see one person who own an oil block. I've read this. In the courses I'm doing, I'm reading these things and they hurt my skin, because I cannot understand why human beings who actually sit knowing that they are going to die, because nobody is going to be on this earth forever. Abacha did it. He stole all the money he could steal from Nigeria, sent it to Swiss bank. Today, Nigerian government is still struggling to get that money off Swiss bank. Where is Abacha today? He's gone, long gone. So of what use? Why do people not learn from past experiences? Of what use is, what is the reason? What is the value? What do you gain from taking money that does not belong to you and put in your personal account, and then you tell yourself you're rich or you're protecting your children's future? But look at what's going on today. All these monies you've amassed upon yourself that could have created jobs for the country, you end up enslaving your people. Because now Nigerians, Africans can't go anywhere in the world and be proud of who they are. For reasons, everybody knows where we come from and how pathetic we look. Nigeria hasn't even got an airport, a decent airport. What we have there called Murtala Mohammed Airport is an embarrassment to the world, if you ask me. It's not even it's not anything close to what you would see as a train station in some countries. I visited Hong Kong recently. And I came from China to Hong Kong and I saw this train station. It is bigger than an airport that Nigeria calls an airport. It's bigger than Murtala Mohammed Airport. And same. So I need Nigerian politicians to start thinking for a change. All you have to do is provide infrastructure in your country. In your country. Instead of taking all this money and sending it to various parts of the world and taking it away from your people and putting your people in dire desperation, where unemployed youths now arm themselves and start chasing and terrorizing the whole community. The whole nation is under a state of siege because there's no employment. They don't have anything to do. Students don't even have a future. They don't even know why they're in school. I was listening to a program. This one says, I've been to school. They've gotten to that point they don't care anymore. Because they know what the future is bringing. Politicians want to sit there and destroy everyone. They run into villages and kill and maim. Because there's nothing for them to do. And I know that we can do better. I know we can do better, Nigerian politicians. I know we can do better. Try and get some conscience into your thinking. We can do better. All you have to do is copy and paste. You know, copy and paste. You go and copy when you're on a Word document, you copy a document and then you paste on another. Now, look at all the parts of the world. These same parts of the world that you go and visit and have such a great time. Dubai. Oh, I own houses in Dubai. In UK, I own houses everywhere. And in America, I own houses. You see the same places you visit. Now, the reality is, everywhere in the world it comes down to land and air. That's what it is. Land and air. So in some countries, you're going to have the weather there may be very cold. In some countries, the weather may be very hot. But it all comes down to a piece of land. So what then changes from one country to another is the infrastructure in that country. The infrastructure. What are infrastructures? Roads. Connecting point from point A to point B. So in places like the UK, you could travel by train from London to Liverpool. You could travel by train from London to Manchester to Glasgow to Edinburgh. You can travel. You could travel by road as well. We traveled from London to Glasgow, 8 hours on the road. Amazing road network. No problem. But you cannot even travel from Surulere to Bagada. You cannot even travel from Apapa to Mile 2. What is the problem? This is the same city. You can't go from Murtala Mohammed Airport to the local airport. I mean, one time I came into Nigeria, I wanted to go to Port Harcourt from Lagos. I was crying at to the local airport. Who does that? We get a train from Gatwick Airport to Liverpool Street, to Victoria Street station in London. Why can these networks not be put in place in Nigeria? Why not? The same money that these people use in creating these infrastructures, Nigeria has it. Plus more. Plus more. Nigerian children born abroad want to visit their country, but children every day on my case, Mama, I want to visit Nigeria. I want to visit Nigeria. I am embarrassed. I cannot visit Nigeria and feel comfortable. Talk more of my children who have never been to Nigeria. And why is that? Because some state governor, because some president, because some House of Rep, because some senator thinks that this country doesn't deserve to be treated better. Or the human beings who live here don't deserve to be taken care of? Why? Why? I mean, it's so bad. This is how wicked I feel you politicians are in this country. People compete for who has the highest generator because there's no electricity. Right now I'm talking, this is a generator we're using. Why? You have the one that's, I mean, my husband has the names, I don't have them. There's the one that says so and so, and the one that says I big past my neighbor, and the one that says show boy, and the one, what scenario is this? People competing for who has the biggest generator. And you know what is so sad? These things are bringing fumes, unhealthy fumes that Nigerians are inhaling into their lungs. And then the next thing you hear, somebody is ill and then they are going to die because all we inhale are unhealthy fumes. Why? Because some cartel have taken it upon themselves that there should not be electricity in Nigeria, so that people keep buying generators from them. How do you hold a country to ransom in a format like this? How do you do that? And then you get into a plane and you actually shamelessly visit other parts of the world, and you go on holiday and you relax. And I hear from what I hear from you, the things I hear about you politicians saying that you send your family abroad because in your head your children will never come back home. You see, from what they said, no, there's nowhere like home. If you like, spend trillions of dollars and keep your children wherever in the world, they can never fit in. They can never fit in. I can tell you that because I've lived abroad and I know what it's like. You can never belong to a place that is not yours. You can never have the leg to stand on that ground and talk to somebody who comes from that place and say you own that place with them. You can never do that, no matter how much money you spend. And the story in the Bible should tell you a story, or at least should make you realize when the children of Israelites were in Egypt, Jacob or Joseph, I can't remember who it was now, was the prime minister, and he was taking care of his people. When he passed on, the rest of the generations that now came over ended up as slaves. Did they not? What then led to the point now that God now said, Moses, go and bring back my children? Because they left home, then there was famine, and then they all ended up in Egypt. Now God said, come back home. So no matter how much you think you are being smart today, sending your children abroad to different parts of the world, when you pass on and your children then have children, and then they have children and have children, look at your generations now living abroad. Will they fit in? They will never fit in. So that's the message you need to get on board. This is the message you need to put into your head when you're thinking, when you're taking money that belongs to a country and sending it abroad and thinking you're doing such a great thing. Because what you're now remembering is none of us, the Bible says it very clearly, we're either 70 or when we're lucky over 70. People don't go more than 120 mostly. 120 years you're here, by which time you don't even know what will happen to you. And then you're taking money that don't belong to you and you're spending it like it's yours. My advice to all of you politicians, Nigerian politicians in particular, get back those monies, return it home. Get infrastructure in place in this country. Nigerians want to work for themselves. They want to be independent. They're not asking you for anything else. Give them infrastructure, roads, electricity, water, decent facilities, airports, museum if need be. Allow this country to, be like the rest of the world. Take us away from this primitive age. Bring us back to light. It is so embarrassing what is going on right now. And I'm not going to sit here and keep quiet and pretend all is well in Africa. All is not well. And all is not well because a few human beings like you, decide to destroy the pride of what God gave to Africans. You have decided to do that. A few of you politicians in Africa have taken it upon yourself to destroy the reputation of Africa. You see our children playing football in international scenes, in foreign lands, and people are throwing bananas at our children. Why? Because they say we're primitive. And you see why this is true? Because you cannot even give our children that pride of place. You can't make them feel confident and stand tall and say, I am African and I'm proud. Because when people look back at what you call an airport there, Murtala Mohammed Airport, why won't they throw bananas at our children? Why won't they call us names? Why won't we be treated like slaves when we cannot stand tall and speak like the rest of the world? I'm appealing to you, please. If you're a politician and you're hearing me talking now, look into your soul and do the right thing. Return all that money you looted out of this country. All of you sit together and start thinking how you can make Nigeria and the rest of Africa be like the rest of the world. And give Africans that pride that we deserve. That dignity that we deserve. I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching, and please share this video with all your friends. Africans need to have a pride of place. Follow us on Twitter. Not Twitter. We barely do Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. And I look forward to speaking to you again. While I'm still in Nigeria, I'll keep telling you what I see. And this issue needs to be addressed. See you in the next video.